Guide me among those whom thou hast guided aright, and preserve me among those whom thou hast preserved, and befriend me among those whom thou hast befriended. Bless me in whatsoever thou dost grant me, and deliver me from the evil of what thou hast judged. Surely thou judgest, and none can judge against thee, and he whom thou befriendest is not disgraced. Blessed art thou, O Lord, and exalted be thee above what they set up besides thee. I bear witness, nothing deserves to be served besides thee, and I bear witness that Muhammad is thy servant and apostle. Amen.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who in my judgment is the master historian, taught us that of all our studies, history is the most attractive, and it is best qualified to reward the researcher. History is most attractive. Why should history be most attractive? Because history is the recorded time of the human family in its struggle to overcome obstacles. There is no life that is without struggle. The Holy Quran teaches us that man, meaning man and woman, is made to face difficulties. And after difficulty comes ease. But it is history that guides us through difficulty. For if you know how people who had difficulty yesterday got through, and if your difficulty is somewhat similar, then today we also can get through if we follow the guidance of history. This is why Carter G. Woodson and many of our black giants fought for black people to know our history. Because in not knowing our history, we don't have a guide. And without a guide, we are lost. No wonder the Bible
Assalamu alaikum, y'all. Ramadan Mubarak. I am back. All of a sudden, everything on StreamYard just went dark. But we're back. We don't let nothing stop us, right? um, I pray everyone is doing well. And just grateful to be able to be here today to have this conversation with you all. I wasn't quite sure what to call this talk, so we'll figure it out after we get it out. But I wanted to just be very straight with us, so that we can really think about how we're managing our vibrations and everything that's going on around us. Okay. I see you in the chat, Brother Lamont. I saw you on here earlier, but it went dark. I couldn't say anything to you. He says, good morning. Assalamu alaikum. Ramadan Mubarak. Happy Saturday. And I say good morning as well. Wa alaikum salam. Ramadan Kareem. Happy Saturday to you too. Greetings, Mother. And let's see. Sister Felicia says, Assalamu alaikum and Ramadan Mubarak, family, and our host, Sister Sajdah, Wendy Muhammad. It's been a while. Yes, ma'am, sis. But I'm grateful to see and hear from Sister Sajdah. Praise be to Allah. I'm grateful that you are here. Thank you for being here with us this morning. So here's the thing that I was thinking about. Today is my grandmother's birthday anniversary. So I started off thinking about her today, and I started thinking about epigenetics, and I started thinking about ancestors, and I did a little prayer for the ancestors, and I just thought I said, you know what, let's talk about this today. A lot happening out here in the world that is negative. And I think for a lot of people, it's triggering ancestral fears, old traumas that are in our epigenetics that are impacting our attitudes today. It's impacting what we're nursing on, what we're feeding on. It's inclining us towards sickness and death. And I want to talk about that today because it's about our focus and our shift in focus. Okay. And while, yes, our ancestors, many of our parents and grandparents and great-grandparents suffered. Many of them went through some very, now I can't even call them trying times, but evil situations, egregious situations, things that you can't even imagine somebody surviving. They made it and they survived. They fought. They were strong under conditions that most of us can't even fathom. They hung in there. They had children, and they had the nerve to still have hope that we would do better, that things would get better with us. Just the physical toils that many of them went through, walking, working, being abused physically, hit, beaten, raped, pain, mental illnesses that ignited physical illnesses that they couldn't escape, chronic pain, but yet they still had us and they still had hope in us. Still had hope in us. I like to say I was my grandmother's favorite. And And she still had hope. Even when I think about what happened before her and before her and before her, especially when you're just talking about this 400-year history. Now, all of our history is not like that, but that little 400-year history from the time that we were kidnapped in Africa and brought here to the United States was pure pain and trauma. There are some of us who have been able to tap into our ancestors and our lives prior to that. And it was happiness, and it was love, and it was travel. I've actually done that. And I'm grateful because I feel like some of the through lines of my personality date back to that time before slavery. But let me say this. Don't constrict yourself to that period in history. If you got to go on our beloved YouTube University and go back 10,000 years, 15,000 years and see how smart our ancestors were, they invented mathematics and science. They were queens and gods who built edifices that people to this day cannot figure out how they built them. They were beautiful and vibrant. They were men and women who changed the course of history. Men and women who won battles, who fought battles, who were victorious in every sense of the word. Those men and women in the Bible and the Holy Quran, they're talking about us, our people. I know it's been whitewashed and brownwashed, and we think that, Islam is Arab, and we think that Christianity is white, but it ain't true. They're talking about the original men and women of God, and the prophecies in there are related to the descendants of those original men and women of God. We inhabited the entire planet Earth, and we inhabited the best part of the planet Earth, the most beautiful parts of the planet Earth. So don't constrict yourself, your energy, to this phase of your history, because you date back to the original creator himself. You date back to that first life germ that was turning in triple darkness. And so it would be silly of us to restrict ourselves to just this past 400 years. But the devil knows that that's part of our modern memory. The devil also knows that they've continued to remind us of that. So when trauma comes into our lives, when issues come into our lives, when negativity comes into our lives, we relate back to that short-term little piece of memory. And what I do is I consciously take myself back to before then. Yes, they were survivors. Yes, they made it. But even before that, I'm part of a people who invented science, mathematics, who invented writing and art, who put the sun in the sky. That's where we come from. And so I want to take a minute for us to do a little meditation together. It's not that many of us on today. And so I think we should be able to kind of enjoy and feel one another. But I want us to do a meditation to change our energy a little bit. Let's do it. Let's everybody close their eyes. I want you to take a deep breath. And when you take that deep breath, I want you to just release all the disappointment, all the pain, all the sorrow. Take another deep breath. Release the sadness. Release your fears. Release your worries. Release all the negative things that are happening around you. I want you to release the connection between what Allah is trying to teach us today and this past short 400 years of history. What do I mean by that? If you're struggling to figure out how you're going to pay for something, if you're challenged to deal with a sickness or an illness, if society is telling you you ain't got that much time, if they're telling you you old, if they're telling you you young, stop connecting it to negativity and trauma. Unsubscribe to the negativity, unsubscribe to what you don't want, and subscribe to what it is that you do want. Tap into the rich history that we've been blessed. Identify with the Creator himself. Mimic that creativity. So if you're facing a problem, how did the Creator evolve? How did the Creator develop himself? He created. It was the act of creation. When he wanted to communicate, there was a new language. There was writing. When something needed to be paid, he didn't think about the fact that over the past 400 years, your family been poor. You ain't gonna have nothing. These people in office and they don't like you. I want you to think about a God that is bigger than all of that. Think back to how many evolutions you've lived through and survived through. Think about Master Father Muhammad giving us back our inheritance. Think about that. Think about the strength of those that came before us, their ability to survive. And we look at them in pictures and they still look beautiful. So don't connect yourself to what's going on in office or what's going on down the street. Connect yourself to a source, to a power that can heal, that can love, heal you up out of whatever you're going through and love you up out of whatever you're going through. And so I've talked enough. We're going to just have about a minute of silence. And I want you to just focus on your breath as you release all that is negative and you unsubscribe. Don't take ownership to anything that is not going to line you up with who you truly are. Deep breath in. Relax into that. Reset your vibration. Any negative thoughts that are floating through your mind, just quietly say, I don't take ownership of that. I unsubscribe. Don't force any thoughts. Just unsubscribe. You're going to make it. You're going to survive. You're going to be healthy. You're going to be a winner. You're going to be wealthy. You're going to be powerful. You're going to be loved. Why? Because all of those frequencies and all of those energies are already surrounding you, and you are already that. Just remove the barriers between you and that by unsubscribing to what you don't want and taking ownership of what you do want. Welcome love. Welcome power. Welcome the ability to evolve and transform and bask in gratitude. Let's take one more deep breath. Slowly open your eyes and just release all of it. Just release it. Let me know in the chat, the few of us that are there, how you feeling. But just let it go. It's so much. So much. It's so easy for us to connect, but let's disconnect. I want you right now to think about what you're most grateful and most excited for. You are so powerful. You've been through so much. You've overcome so much. You don't need to do nothing crazy. You don't need to do nothing shady. You're already evolving into a God. You can make happen whatever it is that you want to make happen. Sister Felicia said, I keep seeing Trump freeing us abundantly. Amen. We don't have to second guess God. We don't know where it's going to come from. Release the chains. Let's go. We're ready. We are ready. Let's bask in our morality. Let's walk a little taller, stand a little taller, straighten our legs up and our back up. Let's do the right thing. Let's find any excuse to love on somebody, any excuse to support somebody, any excuse to do what it is that is needed to bring more love and more joy into this world. Surround ourselves with that energy. Brother Lamont said, I needed this. It's been a lot lately. I know. Just release it. Just release it, Brother Lamont. And let's let it go. Unsubscribe. And know, like you know, like you know, like you breathing right now, just know that Allah is with you. He will never forsake you. He ain't go nowhere. He never goes anywhere. He ain't been nowhere in trillions of years. He's right here. The only thing is we have these blockages, these veils that are between us and Allah. And so we just want to remove them. We just want to dissolve them. We just want them to fall away and fall around us. We've been through enough. Our family's been through enough. Our ancestors have been through enough. We don't have to subscribe to it. We're stronger than we know. And so we can just walk right through it. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. We walk right through it. And just know, those of us that we love, those of us that are our family members who have come and gone, they served their purpose here. We don't own them. We can't keep them. They served their purpose. And if their physical bodies got to the point where they began to suffer, then their relief is here. Many of you all know that a very special friend of mine returned to Allah this week. Brother, student minister Rasul Muhammad. His janazah services are going to be on Thursday at 11 a.m., I believe it is, at Mosque Mariam. Rasul and I go way back to a very special friendship, couple of courtships, but we've always remained friends. And it just kind of was in the cards for us to remain friends. And we would lose contact, and Rasul would find me on Facebook or find somebody that knew where I was, or he always changed phones, so he'd have to find my number again, because my number's been pretty consistent. We would have this thing where we would fuss and with each other all the time. Usually about every 2-3 months, he would find me, and this, went on for years. He'd look for me, and we'd be on the phone. And usually it's about a 2-hour conversation. And about the first hour, We getting along good. And I would tease him. I said, you being real Quranish this first hour. He was like, yeah, I'm being Quranish. We would just laugh. And then the second hour, I would always tease him. I said, then you turned into Russell. And then we start fussing over something, or I would say something he disagreed it with, and he'd get upset with me because I wouldn't back down, and then we'd fuss, and that was kind of like the language of our friendship. But I'm grateful for him. We had lots of beautiful moments, especially very early in early in my Islamic life. He grew up in it, but so just interesting stuff. We would laugh, we would crack up. And even in his latter years, when he was ill, when he'd had his love tour, he would call me. I think I went to a couple of cities. He came to DC when I was living in DC. Since he was back in Chicago, I went to see him at the studio. We hung out a little bit. That was since I got the house. And so I'm just grateful that Allah allowed us to connect and collide, and that our relationship evolved in the way that Allah would have wanted it to evolve. Wasn't what we planned when we were young, but it's okay. But he's just one of those persons that we've just always kept an emotional cord between us. And like I said, we would connect and catch up. So, my condolences go out to his family, which is my family, Minister Ishmael, Brother Ahmed, Sister Medea, to his wife, Sister Sabrina, to his children. May Allah be pleased with our brother. He was so transparent and so full of love, and just like a ball of fire all the time. And so I'm grateful. Sister Monica says, may Allah forever be pleased with our dear brother, student minister Abdul Hakim Muhammad. Yes, absolutely. CDM says, ASA, may Allah continue to bless your spirit. It feel like opening the Quran in the spirit. May Allah be pleased with him. Take care, peace. Yes. So, and while we experience pain, they came here for the time that they came here, and they're gone. Rasul always used to call me. It's fun. It's not funny, but it's ironic that I'm talking about him returning to Allah on my grandmother's birthday, because I told him the story. We would sit up for hours and just talk about stuff. And I remember telling him that thumbs up if I'm back. Give me a thumbs up in the chat if I'm back. I was going to say, I'm just going to miss those occasional conversations and him occasionally cussing me out. And, we'd hang up on each other, and then I'd talk for 2-3 months, and then he'd call back like nothing ever happened. So I'm just grateful for the relationship. I'm so grateful for the relationship with his Mother Tainetta Muhammad, which actually started before I met him. Started before I met him. And but I'm just grateful. Very, very grateful. But I was saying before the computer went out that it's no coincidence that I'm talking about his transition, and I'm not trying to make myself more or anything, but we definitely had a strong spiritual condition that not spiritual condition, but a spiritual connection that I don't think either of us could shake. And so we just, it transitioned into this great and beautiful friendship, great conversations, sharing the love of music, arguing over music. And the last probably real physical time I got to spend with him was when I first acquired the home of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and he was in the studio, and we went to the studio. He's doing, playing his music and all of that. And it was just beautiful. Anyway, so ironic that today we're talking about him returning to Allah, because today is my grandmother's birthday. My grandmother's name was Winolia. And I told him, sorry, Mom, how my mother at first was going to name me Winolia. And according to this is my uncle's story. I don't know if Mom agrees with this story, but my Uncle Junior says that she was going to name me Winola, and that she had named me Winolia, but didn't write it up on a birth certificate or nothing. And then he said that he came to the hospital. I don't even know if he was at the hospital, but he claimed that he was at the hospital and that he told her she can't do that, and that was an old lady name, and that then she came up with Wendy. I think Mom's version of the story is a little bit different, but Rasul and I used to laugh at that story, and he was like, "Ooh, what if you were Sister Winolia?" And so his name for me was always Winolia. But when he would call me on the phone, I'd pick up the phone. I'd be like, "Okay, is this Russell or Rasul?" Because I didn't know if he was going to fuss at me or if it was going to be spiritual. He said, no, Winola. No, Winola. So that's how it is. And then when the minister first gave me the name Sajdah, I remember he was he was in his spiritual mood about it, and he thanked me. And I'm grateful for Sister Sabrina too, because she just always has been so sweet. And I think we were talking, and even back then we used to do prayer line. I used to be on the prayer line with them and stuff like that. But when I said, I explained to him about Sajdah, which has interesting history between us, and he said, "Well, you still Winola to me." So rest in peace, dear brother. May Allah be pleased forever with you. You fought the good fight, and you did good. You did good with the cards that you were dealt. You did good. So for those of us in the chat, anybody suffering losses, let's celebrate them today. If this is the anniversary of someone that you lost, and oftentimes at the time we're so attached. I remember getting the phone call that my grandmother had passed. I thought I was going to die. And then over time, I would think of her and think of the memories, and we would laugh. And that's why it's good to get with family and friends, and you can talk about your loved one and the good memories that you have, because we don't own them. And while we would love for them to be here forever, they're passing through. And they go back to Allah. He takes them back when he's ready, just like he brings life here when he's ready. So nothing comes here or leaves here without his permission. So let's celebrate that today. Let's not get caught up in the trauma of the trauma that is triggered by what we're going through. So you might be trying to say, I don't know how I'm going to pass this test. I don't know how I'm going to pay this bill. I don't know how I'm going to get through something. And then you start connecting yourself to something that is recent. When I say recent, like the last 100 or so years, and you start thinking about Maybe how broke somebody else in your family was, or how somebody passed away, or how somebody else, they were sick too. You don't have to subscribe to that. If your mama, your grandmama, if they got diabetes, high blood pressure, you don't have to subscribe to that. You can start right now, today, with a lifestyle change. You can start eating better. You can get rid of those bad habits. Because see, here's what happened. We spiritually attached to bad behaviors that cause health conditions oftentimes. And then we say, okay, well, my grandmother had it. And then there may be foods. Foods have emotional connections. I know y'all know that. Let me give you an example. There's two. So when I think about my uncle and growing up, and going to my grandmother's house, and basically we lived in two places, our house and grandma's house. And when my mom would leave, he would give us junk food. And it would always be chips and dip or pizza. So comfort food for me became chips and dip or pizza, which both of you all know can be very fattening and very, it can be messed up for you. My mom's always been a salad eater. Back in the day, she eats salad and then she eat eggs in the morning. She mainly that, and she's always pretty much been fit. And then so my point being is that we all got that comfort food. We got that food that we go to when we're stressed. And some of us go to it more than we should. Some of us get addicted to sweets and sugars and cookies and cakes. And if the genetics, your physical genetics, as evidenced by family members, say that that you respond genetically to these foods by having diabetes, high blood pressure, or some other kind of cardiovascular disease, it doesn't mean that you got to get it. It just means that you have a template to be able to see how your body's going to respond to those certain type of things. Some of us know we come from a long line of big mamas. And I don't care how skinny you are now, you know that if you don't eat right, you're going to become big mama. So, I mean, come on, y'all. Allah is so merciful. He's so blessed. He blesses us so much that we can look at how things are making us respond. Let's work on who's addicted to ginger snap cookies. Sister Felicia. You see this, Mom? Sister Felicia Horn says she's addicted to ginger snap cookies. Sister Felicia, don't feel bad. My mom's favorite cookies are ginger snap cookies and Fig Newtons. You probably like them Fig Newtons too. I don't know how y'all like those Fig Newtons. My point is this. You can have you a couple ginger snaps. You can have you a couple Fig Newtons, sis, but you can't be addicted, Sister Felicia. Get you a couple. You should this is what you do. When you get the package or box or whatever they come in, get you some little Ziploc baggies and put 2 in a baggie. Put yourself out, set yourself out 2, and then take the other baggies and freeze them. And so when you give yourself a treat, when you know you've exercised, when you know, Brother Lamont said, oh, Fig Newtons too. Oh my God, they are so gross. Anyway, when you know you've exercised, when you know you've eaten, you've taken your supplements, you know, you got your fresh juices, when you know you've done the right thing, then you could treat yourself with one of those little baggies. Mom said, look, Sister Felicia, you are not alone. See, this therapy on here today. This is ginger snap therapy. So I'm just saying, but don't just make the big pack all available to yourself. So you just sit up there and just pop them. They small, aren't they? I don't know. They don't taste good to me. So I don't know. But my mom loves them, and she loves Fig Newtons. I see it's a lot of y'all up in here with the ginger snap Fig Newton thing. That ain't my palate. I like peanut butter cookies, but I'm not the type that's going to go buy a whole box of cookies or a whole thing of cookies. And if I do, or if somebody gives me some, like sometimes the sisters at the mosque, they make the most amazing cookies and treats. I just break them up. Okay, here we go again. Somebody else need Fig Newton and ginger snap therapy. Sister Felicia, mom said ginger snap took the place of the Fig Newtons. Look, my mother loved those things so much that my nephew, when I went grocery shopping with him, we were walking all around the store so he could find the Fig Newtons and the ginger snaps. I said, what is this? This is some serious epigenetics. And I looked at his grocery cart and he had the exact same stuff in it that my mom eats. So y'all know these genetics are strong around here. So we just got to make sure we monitor ourselves. We can be happy. We can be healthy. We can still enjoy what we want. We just can't be addicted to it, which means you're going to probably eat the whole box, the whole package, and all of that. Don't do it. Take the package, separate them up, freeze the rest of them, put the 2 that you're going to have today, and you can't have 2 tomorrow. Now, you can't eat cupcakes every day. You can't eat cookies every day now. I developed when I was at the vascular center and we developed the hospital, I developed the same. And my business partner, Dr. Dormo, just said it to me the other day. I said, that sugar is the devil. I'm telling y'all, that sugar, that white processed sugar is the devil. Remember that. Don't eat that stuff every day. We can be healthy and beautiful and fine. We can live to 120, 130 years old. The messenger told us that. I just seen a lady on the internet yesterday, 112, and she on there looking good. She ain't messed up. She ain't. Come on, y'all. We could do this. Walaikum salam, Sister Marvelous Marva. Yes, we can do this. So get your supplements. Get your exercise going. It's getting warm outside. Make sure you're moving every day. If you're getting older, start lifting some weights, because as you start to lose your muscle mass and the muscle mass starts to melt, you want to build it back up so you can be stronger. You want your hips and thighs and arms. You want to be stronger. If you don't want to lift any weights, then do some body weight stuff, like some squats or what you can do of a push-up. Stretch. Yoga is great. Walking is excellent. Walking is excellent. We've been in the 50s and 60s all day this week. I've been hitting it. And it just feels good. You see your circulation start to improve. We got work to do. We got work to do, y'all. Yes, that's right, Sister Monica. She said white sugar is more addictive than drugs. That sugar's the devil, I'm telling you. I know y'all didn't come here for this today. Y'all came to, look, Mom said, not much sugar in ginger snaps. That's the sugar for our coffee. Okay. All right, ginger snaps family. All right. Anyway, everybody, make sure you're moving today. Make sure you exercise. If you can't get outside, if it's raining or the weather is bad where you are, do something in the house. Y'all got YouTube. Click on YouTube and get you an exercise video and do you an exercise video in the house. Click on YouTube. You can do anything. You can do yoga. You can even learn karate. You can do all kind of stuff on YouTube until the weather breaks and you can get out. There's something communal about community exercising and exercising in public, but move that body. Keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. All right, family. Any questions or comments? Anything y'all want to talk about besides ginger snaps and Fig Newtons in the chat? How's everybody feeling? Do we feel a little lighter? Do we feel a little bit more prosperous? Do we feel happier? Because the idea is we got to feel it first. We got to feel happier, healthier, and wealthier and more loving. And then we got to walk into that feeling. Sister Monica says, make them ginger snaps from scratch. Use brown sugar. I love figs any kind of way. Yep. Sister Felicia said, yes, ma'am. Let me know in the chat anything. We got about 10 minutes. I can answer any question or have a conversation. But what I really, really want us to do is I want us to celebrate. I want us celebrating life. I want us to be happy about life. Those in our family, those friends who have transitioned and moved on, moved to that next phase, gone to the upper room, whatever you want to call it. Let's celebrate their life. Let's be so grateful and so happy for the time that we were able to connect with them. And just know, unless they're your twin, y'all didn't come here together. And let's hope you don't leave together. Okay, if y'all don't have anything, y'all know I'm going to ask everybody, make sure you support Cash App. I'm asking everybody to give $25 to the Cash App. Even if you do $10, but just try to each show give something via Cash App, because I was working all day yesterday on some mastermind workshops, some big stuff that we're going to be doing from the home of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We're going to be doing some really historic events and things. And so I'm excited about it, and I want you all to be able to come, but we need you all to support the network and support the work. If you want to be a sponsor of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad House Museum, you can go to sajdahhouse.com and go into the messaging and then just let me know you want a sponsorship opportunity deck. I'll send it to you. I'll even do a Zoom with you and walk you through it. If you want to support some of our upcoming events, we're going to have some Mind of an Entrepreneur events coming up. We're going to be having a financial literacy boot camp for children. We're going to be doing an entrepreneurial boot camp for children. We got to get these babies on the right course. So we're going to be working on that. We're going to be I've been doing a lot of consulting for children who are graduating from college. So if you want to sponsor a child or something like that, same thing. Message me, say, I want to know about the event opportunities. The event opportunities start, the sponsorship levels start at $300. So you can sponsor a child at a relatively affordable rate. If you want to have your name in the room on the plaque at the museum, that starts at $2,500. So Sister Monica said, Cash App done. All praises due to Allah. Support the network. I'm doing my best to bring you all good things. Inshallah, I'll be able to be consistent and effective and help us to add value and move forward and do better with our lives. I'm so grateful to be a student of Master Prophet Muhammad and a student and follower of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and to be a student and follower of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I just don't know what to do. I'm so grateful for, Sister Monica said a doctoral program is in the future. All right. Who got their doctorate? Sister Marva, any good news y'all want to put in the chat really quickly? Put the good news while you're doing your Cash App or your Zelle. Put some good news. Everybody in the chat, put some good news in there. Let's end on that. We got about 9 minutes. Good news in the chat. Make sure you all are giving and loving today. Giving and loving today. I want you get up from the chair, the table, the couch, wherever you at. Get up and just love. Get up and walk in love. Get up and walk in gratitude. That's what I want us to do. All right. I guess y'all ain't got no good news to share with me. Y'all mad at me about these fig Newtons and ginger snaps. That is okay with me. Y'all can stay mad. But remember what I told y'all, that sugar is the devil. So take that package, divide them up into two. You can get you 2 cookies today, but you can't have 2 cookies later tonight, and then in the morning, and then later again. We just got to monitor it. Moderation, moderation. Let's just slow it down. All right, family. Peace and blessings. Love you all very much. Thank you all for joining this morning. Let's keep the energy going. Let's keep the love circulating. And inshallah, I will see you all next week. All right. May Allah bless you.